Good morning, guys. Today we are going to finish up with our eye drawing. Okay, so yesterday we did the skin tone and we did the eyelid underneath. Now we're gonna finish off with the tear duct, a little bit of value in the corners of the eye, and then one of the hardest parts for people to draw, which are the eyelashes, which kind of make or break your drawing. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is going to start with the tear duct. Okay, so we're going to fill in the whole tear duct with a pretty light value, and then we're going to come back and have it be darker around that smaller curved shape and fade out a bit from there. So we're going to do that on either side, fade that out. And then just a little bit of value in the middle. This got a little too dark. Of the very corner of the eye, that's also going to fade out from there. Okay, so just a little bit of detail there. Then for the white parts of the eye, we're going to do a really light value. We don't want this to be very noticeable at all, so we might need to erase this a little bit just to lighten it. But the white part of the eye is still three-dimensional, so we're still going to see a little bit of value there. And that's going to really help making this look a lot more believable and a lot more three-dimensional. So we want just a very small amount of value in the corner that's going to gradually fade out into the white. So it's going to kind of just disappear. So we're going to do that in either corner of the eye. And again, we don't want to go overboard with how much value we're using for that. Right? So a little bit of value there, and then there's usually a little bit of a shadow that's cast from that top eyelid. So we're going to put a little bit more value, leaving a little white space in between the bottom of the eyelid and this little shadow we're going to put across. And it's going to be darker across the iris. So that's a little bit more noticeable. Okay, so a little bit of a shadow across the top there. And then the last thing that we're going to put in are our eyelashes. Okay, so one thing that I like to do when I'm doing the eyelashes is, if you think about it, if you put the bottom of your hand down on your drawing, it's probably going to smear and smudge that graphite a little bit. So one thing you could do to protect your drawing is just take a clean sheet of paper, and it can be anything, it could have writing on it or whatever, and then put your hand on top of that so we know that you're not going to smudge and smear your drawing. Okay, so we're going to start with our eyelashes on the top, and there's a few different ways of doing these. We're going to do it the easier way, so we're going to have all of our eyelashes going the same direction today. So obviously, starting on the bottom eyelid here, we want our eyelashes to be really thin, curving, and overlapping. Okay, so make sure you got a nice sharp pencil so they're going to be nice and thin. We're starting on the bottom of that eyelid. I'm just going to kind of flick my wrist to make these. Okay. And we don't want them to all be the exact same size and length. And they're going to get longer as we go to the inside center of the eye here. And again, we want a few to crisscross and overlap. That's going to make it look a lot more realistic and believable. And then as we get back towards the bottom here, they're going to start to get a little bit shorter. Okay, so there's my top eyelids. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the bottom, and they're going to curve this direction. And again, same thing, they're going to get a little bit longer as we reach the inside corner of the eye here. Okay, once you finish your drawing in the lower right hand corner, we're gonna sign your name. It could be just your first name, just your last name, your initials, whatever or however you like to sign your name. Okay, when you get finished, take a photo of your drawing. Make sure that they're centered and that they're not blurry. So make sure you give time for your camera to focus, and then go ahead and post that in on Google Classroom. We also have a warm-up question today, so make sure you answer that warm-up question, please. And again, any questions, make sure you send me an email. All right, guys, have fun.